Hello there, my name is Jonathan Eldridge. I have a simple question for you, but one that is not so easily answered. What are you afraid of?
It is both timely and important.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be going through the Analog Horror Iceberg created by MetallicStatues. In case you don't know what Analog Horror is, it's a sort of subgenre of found footage consisting of media such as TV broadcasts and VHS tapes that have a nostalgic feel to them while also containing a sense of horror. If at any point there is an entry that you would like to see get its own dedicated video, feel free to let me know in the comments and I might just cover it in the future. So without further ado, get some food or a drink and get comfortable as we delve into the deep and disturbing Analog Horror Iceberg. Layer 1 consists of many entries that are already very well known, so I don't want to spend too much time on this layer, so I will be kind of blasting through all of these entries very quickly, just so I don't waste your time on stuff that you guys already know about. Gemini Home Entertainment is a series consisting of various tapes that range from how-to guides, documentaries, and advertisements. You'll soon learn that the underlying threat of the series is cosmic in nature and a grave threat looms over the entire planet of Earth. The Iris, which is a massive planet, sends its inhabitants to other planets in order to mutate them and drain them of their resources. Local 58 is a fictional TV station that was founded in 1939, and during the 1960s, a nationwide government-issued message was made in the United States. The message contained an official surrender in a war against a third party stating that the citizens of America were to be taken as prisoners. But the US government has a contingency plan in place. In order to avoid being taken as prisoner and being tortured, the people of America are to commit mass ritualistic self-not-aliving. The Mandela Catalog is a collection of VHS tapes that lay out the various procedures for alternates, which are the main antagonists in the Mandela Catalog universe. These alternates are essentially clone-like beings with the goal to replace all of humanity by driving their victims to not aliving themselves before they ultimately replace them in society. The Walton Files is a series about a children's restaurant that uses numerous animatronics that is partly inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's. Due to a series of unfortunate events, the restaurant was forced to close down and its parent company along with it. The series consists of VHS tapes that appear relatively normal on the surface level, but you quickly learn that they were used to house dark secrets from Felix Kranken, who is one of the co-founders of Bond's Burgers. The Backrooms are an urban legend based on an endless maze of random office rooms and other liminal spaces. Those that accidentally no-clip from reality and find themselves in the Backrooms are more or less trapped forever. However, there are a few opportunities to escape the Backrooms, but the path to them are layered with various monsters and obstacles called entities, each having their own unique ability. To start off layer 2, we have the Agamemnon Counterpart. The Agamemnon Counterpart is a very old creepypasta and analog horror video. As far as I know, this is only one video and isn't part of a series or anything. The video is an odd cartoon of this character with what seems to be oversized hands as feet, standing next to a creature that I can only describe as a blue cyclops octopus. The video eventually cuts to a man screaming and has sparked lots of speculation towards the early years of his life. Again, there have been many creepypastas made about this video, but they were pretty much all debunked, and we now know that the video was created by Michael Ronson and Jason Rovac as a simple entry to an art competition. The Analog Archives are a set of videotapes that mainly takes place between the 1980s and the 2010s. The Analog Archives covers 3 separate yet interconnected stories of the Sumner County, Hanson County, and the Bucks County, each of which are in North Carolina, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania respectively. The tapes consist of TV broadcasts, security footage, and much more. In each of the broadcasts, we are given some disturbing imagery and messages hidden underneath. CHSS starts as a series of mainly advertisements, along with instructional videos focusing on a program for mental health that is sponsored by the American government. Many people also view CHSS as the very first analog horror series ever. The series begins by asking the viewer to partake in a psychological survey initiative, which is used in an attempt to measure the mental well-being of US citizens. The survey consists of listening to various noises as well as identifying colors displayed on a screen. But very quickly we discover that underneath the facade of improving mental health, there's a web of espionage, corporate dishonesty, as well as other supernatural events. Many of you guys likely have heard of the series called Marble Hornets. ECVA is a series by the same creator, as well as being a soft reboot of sorts of Clear Lake's 44. The series follows an individual called S. Hawkins, as they investigate an odd string of broadcasts that they soon learn are being broadcasted from a hijacked TV network that has been abandoned for a very long time. Not too long after, the broadcaster begins targeting S. Hawkins with malicious intent. This ARG goes quite deep, involving participation such as puzzles, and even has an in-game website that can be visited and explored. Now this next series I'm pretty sure 99% of you guys already know about. Fnaf Vhs is a series of VHS tapes focused on the immensely popular Five Nights at Freddy's series and documents a group of animatronics possessed by the souls of children that were killed by William Afton, who is a co-founder of Freddy Fazbear's.
Desktop computer to access CCTV cameras. You'll be using this touchscreen tablet. Pressing the button on the side will boot it up and introduce you to a possibly unfamiliar interface. There should be a map of the restaurant on the bottom right corner. Pressing the buttons on the map will change the Section 2. Door controls. You might have noticed the two large doors to your sides, and also your lack of provided flashlight. But why is that? You will need to use a flashlight with these specially engineered door controls. Pressing the white button will activate the light set outside the door, illuminating a
Ghostwatch is a British horror pseudo-documentary first aired on the BBC network in 1992. The film focuses on the exploration of a house that was supposedly haunted. While being a found footage style documentary, the interesting thing about Ghostwatch was that it was presented live. The staff, of course, doesn't take the investigation very seriously, but soon find out that the spirits haunting the house are more real than they expected. Harmony and Horror is a web series created by Baddington and is also inspired by FNAF. While being similar to FNAF, Harmony and Horror instead focuses on dolls over animatronics. It follows the journey of a genius toy maker that kills each of his family members, who then begin haunting various toys. One of the first tapes in the series starts as an introductional video for new employees on the maintenance of the mascots. As the employee finishes cleaning one part of the ice cream mascot, they are instructed to clean the ice cream man's hand, but we find that it is covered in blood. Later on, the ice cream man disappears, and as we turn around, the screen slowly zooms in on a clown before cutting to black. The Max Headroom Hijacking is a topic pretty much all of you should already know about. The Max Headroom incident occurred on November 22 in 1987, when two stations in Chicago were hijacked. The hijacking broadcasted a still unidentified person wearing a Max Headroom mask to tens of thousands of viewers. The first broadcast displayed the person just rocking back and forth and only lasted for 28 seconds. Not too long later though, a second broadcast came on and it lasted much longer. There was one moment in the second broadcast where we saw a person's exposed backside being spanked by a woman with a fly swatter, before saying, "Oh no, they're coming to get me," and ending the second broadcast. To this day, no one has come forward claiming responsibility for the hijacking, adding to the intrigue of this 3-decade-old mystery. Unlike the past entries, September 1999 is actually a video game. The game is currently free on Steam and runs for exactly 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It is a first-person VHS-styled found footage horror game that is similar to PT, where over time you can explore and observe the creepy changes in front of you. The interesting thing in this game is that there are no jump scares, just a very creepy and mysterious ambiance. Once your timer runs up, the date changes to September 30th, with the camera resting on the ground and what seems to be a chainsaw buzzing in the background. Another famous ARG that many of you are likely to have heard of. The Wyoming incident spans all the way back to 2006 and is about a creepy broadcast hijacking. The hijacking consisted of a strange message accompanied by an eerie high-pitched sound which supposedly causes headaches, nausea, and other uncomfortable reactions. The broadcast lasted about 6 minutes, and in that time the screen cycled through various disturbing imagery while also displaying cryptic messages. Later on in the story, you'll find a forum for what seems to be serial killers. Being such an old ARG, there are many convoluted moments, so I won't dive any deeper into this, and we'll leave it all up to you if you are interested. This next entry is a comedy horror film released back in 2013 that follows a TV reporter that investigates supernatural occurrences at a haunted house. The reporter's name is Frank Stewart, and when investigating the Weber house, he suspects the child, Donald Weber, to be the murderer, claiming that he summoned demons through a Ouija board to murder people. Again, this is a comedy film, so it really isn't that scary, but it's still worth a look if you find it interesting. To kick off Layer 3, we have EAS Scenarios. If you watched my last Internet Oddities video, you will recall that I mentioned EAS Scenarios. For those of you that haven't watched the video, EAS stands for Emergency Alert System. It is the sudden alarm given when there is imminent danger from an incoming tornado, tsunami, etc. The alert can also be used in a case of a national emergency, such as a nuclear attack, but the most common case of it being used is the Amber Alert, which I'm sure 99% of you have heard before. EAS Scenarios are not a specific web series or a particular video, but rather it is a genre of videos spanning all across YouTube. Some of the channels making these videos have created very elaborate and interesting situations and worlds, and are definitely worth taking a look at. To be honest, I was very surprised to see this entry so low on the iceberg, but regardless, this is one of my personal favorites. Wendigoon made a 3-hour-long video going over the monument mythos, so if this interests you, you will definitely want to check that video out. Currently, the series spans across 2 seasons and is actually still ongoing, with the most recent video being released about a day ago at the time of this recording. The monument mythos takes place in an alternate universe where national monuments are hiding various monsters. These monsters are referred to as TFMDs, or True Forces of Mass Destruction. The first video of the series focuses on the Statue of Liberty, where we learn about the architecture of the monument. In the summer of 1954, a group of immigrants passing through Ellis Island reported a terrible stench coming from the statue. Upon investigation, the compartment known as waste storage is supposedly a mass grave, and within the Statue of Liberty there is a creature named the Liberty Lurker living inside. Pretty much every famous monument you can think of has a creature tied to it in this universe, and the series is really an amazing piece of work and very unique. I highly suggest you look into this one if you haven't already. Great Choice is a short film created in 2017 and spans about 7 minutes or so. In a way, this film is almost like a piece of lost media, as it is very difficult to find, but it does 100% exist. From various sources online, I found that it was originally shown at some sort of film festival. but since has never been released, until someone posted it on YouTube. This Reddit post that I found actually had a link to the film and it supposedly worked, but now of course it's a dead link. The film is about a woman who is trapped inside a Red Lobster commercial, and currently the only clip we have is of the trailer. And oddly enough, from the research I did on this, it seems that most people actually really enjoyed this film if they were lucky enough to see it. This next entry refers to a short 1-minute video where someone on Discord randomly receives a message telling them that they are not real and that they need to wake up in an almost Matrix-like world. The video begins with what seems to be a burning building in the background before cutting to the messages. We are told that we have already died and that our name is Jack Thatcher, and while the video flashes through the various pieces of text, high-pitched tones can be heard along with numerous distorted faces. The video first surfaced back around 2019 and since has not been elaborated on, so for now it seems like a bit of a dead end. Perhaps it was a failed attempt at starting up an ARG. Maple County is another game entry, but this time being inspired by the Mandela catalog. Like many of the other entries, this game is in the grainy VHS tape style and takes you through the journey of police training. You are presented with a couple of faces and tasked with choosing the most unsettling one, basically simulating a situation where you have to identify alternates, or at least that's what we assume, as the game overall is pretty mysterious and doesn't give out too much info about its specific lore. Once you complete the training video, you find yourself in the shoes of an officer and encounter one of the alternates inside your home. We soon learned that some of the advice in the training video was terrible, as it suggested that we play dead in such situations, and, well, we definitely regret playing dead here.
Your job. Your work in the RSN Institute is called MPF, which stands for Maintain, Protect, and Forget. Maintain. Helen's complex mechanism is made up of many electronic and mechanical components which require continuous supervision for the Protect. The life maintenance units are powered by nuclear cells that produce strontium-90, a highly radioactive material that is stored in special cement and lead containers. You must always make sure that you and the staff around are protected from radiation at all times. Forget. Also recommend not looking at mirrors or reflective objects for the entire time of the exposure. Feeling that someone is watching you and extreme paranoia.
Knock+10 is another analog horror series that is quite old, dating back to around 2015 or so. Knock+10 is a series of videos on YouTube that all have some sort of code for their titles. The first few all being binary. Throughout most of the early videos and even in the later ones, you'll see that the entire series is heavily based on cryptic codes. But eventually we reach a video where we learn that the series revolves around a place called Research Station Nocturne. We learned that the goal of the research station was to gain information on artificial intelligence, but a tragic event happened, flooding the research stations, killing everyone and leaving only one AI left. There's information that could help us make the assumption that the AI is the one sending out these codes from the previous videos, and they are supposed to be a sort of distress signal, requesting us to find it and end its existence. I really liked what I saw from the brief research I did on the series, so I might be doing a longer video dedicated to Knock+10 down the line. If that's something you're interested in, definitely make sure to subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Skycorp Home Video is a channel that uploads various commercials about seemingly unrelated products. After watching many of the videos in anticipation of something deep, dark, and disturbing to come out and jump scare me, I realized that this channel wasn't based on horror at all. Instead, it took the analog horror style to just give us some funny shitposting type videos. I definitely suggest watching through these as I had a great time on this channel, but besides that, there isn't much else to elaborate on.
Okay, hey Smiley, will my dad ever come home? The fortune-telling Smiley ball always manages to bring out a smile.
I'm sure many of you as children can remember playing Super Mario 64, so this entry may hit close to home. This series is a collection of 7 videos taking us through some of the odd events through one's playthrough of the Super Mario 64 game. Things such as the Wario head and the backwards long jumping. And it gives a sort of disturbing horror twist to all of these weird encounters that you have throughout the game. The Blue Channel is an informational VHS tape series that focuses on a drug called thalassine. The tapes tell us that if anyone is suffering from symptoms such as memory loss, lack of feeling, or a foggy mind, that it might be a sign of advanced emotional deterioration, aka AED. However, there is now a new drug called thalassine, which will restore lost emotions, and the narrator then goes on to list the various emotions that we may experience when taking the pill. Now, if you're someone that prefers to live life more on the wild side, you can purchase Thalassine Plus, which has a bunch of emotions that we have never heard of, such as nage, degrance, and dorsalessness.
Okay, lads, let's take this from the top. Do you want to know what's driving everyone bananas? Well, come on down to Chimpy Chippa's. Enjoy our wide range of milkshakes, burgers, and fries, and we'll have you coming back for more. Are you as excited as Chippa the Chip is to, eat all of, Shit. Sorry. Bloody monkey. Just, who cares? Just, we're gonna do it again. Just give me another go. From the top.
The Chimpy Chippa Tapes is a horror series created by Spring Talk Pictures and is another series deriving inspiration from Fnaf. Although the interesting thing here that makes this series unique compared to the others is that it uses real-life animatronics, giving the series a more eerie feel to them. The series focuses on the popular pizza franchise known as Chimpy Chippas and features disturbing occurrences such as not aliving yourself, exorcisms, and psychological horror, just to name a few. However, the Chimpy Chippa mascot knows that the viewer is watching and hauntingly interacts with them as they try to learn more about the mystery of these lost VHS tapes. The Rootside Conspiracy is apparently a sequel series to the Heartwind Archives, which we will talk about more in a lower layer on the iceberg. The original Heartwind Archives series was actually deleted off YouTube, but has since been re-uploaded by somebody else, and in case you are curious as to why they were deleted, supposedly it was because the creator, the Mister, wanted a clean channel to start a brand new series. Which might be true, since if you visit the Mister's YouTube channel today, you'll see a couple teasers for some new projects that they are working on. The Rootside conspiracy basically refers to a secret association of rich, powerful, elite people under a umbrella corporation that is partnered up with the US and Canada. They sell themselves as protectors of humans, saying that their sole goal is to keep the peace amongst mankind. We also learned that the founder of this association, Eugene Heartwind, is also a co-founder of the Illuminati, before the video glitches out and shows us clips dating back thousands of years, displaying a dark one-eyed figure, which is supposedly also Eugene Heartwind. The Scrimblow catalog is a spin-off series created by Alex Kister, who is the creator of the Mandela catalog. Although this series is more so a parody, making fun of the original Mandela catalog. There isn't very much else to say about this series, as it is similar to the Mandela catalog and derives many elements from that. So if you want a good laugh, then definitely check this out, as it is just a more satirical version of the Mandela catalog.
Come over. My mom died.
Oh, okay, I will come over. But why did your mom die?
I have to say, I have security cameras for literally no reason. You need to come turn them on.
Oh, that's weird. I guess I'll come over and turn on your security cameras, even though I'm definitely afraid of your house. And this has no plot relevance.
Wait, I have to say, I think she saw a scary ghost in the room.
Oh, that's so weird that she saw a scary ghost.
I'm not sus.
Kirby.exe is a series based on the Kirby Superstar video game that came out in the 90s. The first video begins with us seeing Kirby running down a hill before glitching out, and Kirby seemingly falls to his death. The following screen is of three boys with black bars covering their eyes, while the background displays a TV with a distorted looking Kirby. In case you're wondering what the TMK means, it's actually a reference to an old Kirby commercial where children turn into large pink versions of themselves due to too much Kirby, aka TMK. In the real life commercial, TMK is harmless, but in this Analog Horror series, TMK is infecting various game cartridges, which then infect the players, causing life-threatening issues. The entire series is still very new, only having come out around March of 2022, so if you find this interesting, then you have the opportunity to watch the series unfold in real time. Channel 7 is a series set in the Tempest universe and opens up as a news broadcast when suddenly an alpha alert comes up. The alert informs us that subject number 897 is missing, and if anyone were to encounter them, they are told to notify officials immediately. We are also shown footage from a security camera where we see a mystery man creep up to the camera before just standing there. Furthermore, the CIA has issued a level 1 alpha alert for the county and are urging citizens to stay indoors. The series derives a lot of elements from popular series such as Local 58, where it seems that the US and the world are in imminent danger from a third party. Cornerfolk lore refers to a series created by Mr. Manticore and explains that there are many dimensions and planes in the world. When two planes intersect, they are not able to cross over to one another and exist independently. However, the Cornerfolk are able to cross between various planes and can even be observed if you pay attention to various corners of your home. In one of the videos, we can see a person documenting these Cornerfolk attempting to enter the corner world. and upon doing so, he has seemingly lost himself to an endless void. CRT Anomalies is a YouTube channel with a series of VHS tapes that seem to not have any sort of cohesiveness. In the first video, we scroll through various security cameras around midnight. Suddenly, around 12:04 AM, we see a mysterious man in black standing alone on a pathway. Upon panning through the other cameras and returning to the one displaying the mystery man, the footage begins to glitch out as we see an up-close shot of the being. The second and third tapes documents the audio from a tragic airplane accident and the MK Ultra experiment respectively. In case you aren't familiar with the MK Ultra incident, it was basically the CIA's attempt to successfully mind control people and was actually a legitimate event in the real world. The channel name seems to suit the video as well, as it is just documenting various anomalies that occur in this world. Perhaps in the future we will learn more to tie all of these various events together. Crystal View Records consists of 2 videos as of right now, or at least I could only find 2 videos. The first of which is a fast food infomercial. The commercial pans through various menu items such as pizza and burgers, but eventually we stumble upon one item that seems quite odd. The item resembles a burger, but it is called sustenance and comes with some peculiar flavor text. We then pan to some images of the restaurant and things seem pretty normal for the most part before we cut to an image of what seems to be black tentacles engulfing the business while saying, "The consumption of food attracts the outsiders." Again, the series only consists of 2 videos as of right now, so if it does interest you, I will leave the final video for you to explore yourself. The first video in the Eventine Media Center YouTube channel is titled Unusual Architecture and simply talks about various shapes and their peculiarities. In the Fire Danger video, we focus on a controlled burn, which in case you don't know, it's a planned burn on a forest to help maintain the health of said forest, which is supposed to be safe for the most part. As the video progresses and we begin the planned burn, we soon find that the fire has gone awry and the fire is now heading into the city, along with some sort of obscure monster taking rise from the forest. Green Mountain Broadcast Center is another shorter web series currently consisting of just 2 videos. The first video seems to be a sort of commercial advertising a box set of tapes that contains various occurrences in history. In the next video, we open up with a TV broadcast giving us some traffic updates. All routes seem pretty standard until about 2 minutes into the broadcast, where we can see that there has been a minor accident on Interstate 89, and soon after another accident on Interstate 91. Not much longer into the video, we are also updated with a poor status on all routes and can view the following text. "And lo, the Lord of Winters casts his white cloak over the Green Republic. He deems unworthy of his benevolence." The broadcast then slowly begins glitching out, and the text at the bottom of the screen informs us that the weather anomalies are harmless and that we should step outside and join him, as we pan to footage showing us a location that is completely engulfed in a snowstorm. Unfortunately, the series is currently on an indefinite hiatus as of 2 months ago, but I really did enjoy researching this one, so hopefully the creator makes a speedy recovery so we can learn more about this world. Group 864 training program is another game-based entry. This universe is similar to the one in the SCP world, which, if you haven't heard of SCP, it's a fictional foundation that is tasked with researching and containing various anomalies and creatures found across the world. As the name would suggest, this game trains us and gives us information on what being a rank 3 individual in Group 864 is all about. The link to the game is available within the iceberg, and the iceberg is linked down below, so if you are interested in trying out this game, feel free to go to the iceberg. Yet another video game entry, Michigan Report from Hell, is a survival horror game title that was never released in the US. Originally, this game was released in 2004 in Japan, and in the later years was released to Europe and Australia. The game is played through a first-person POV through the lens of a camera, and the player is tasked with documenting an eerie mist that has shrouded the city. We soon find out that the mist is capable of turning people into various disfigured fleshy monsters. As the player progresses into the story, we learn that the mist was originally a mutative virus that has been in development under the United States government, who intended on using the drug to combat enemies of the US. Many of you are likely to have heard of the old creepypasta known as Sonic.exe. This series, known as Needle Mouse, is a sort of derivative that has drawn inspiration from Sonic.exe. This time being told through VHS tapes. We learn that there is a person that is possessing Sonic in the game, and they have been trapped for 30 years. Sonic then tells us that no one knows what happened to them that day except for someone named Luther. Supposedly, Luther is the one who took everything from the person in control of Sonic, and they are now coming for Luther with the goal of making them suffer for all of eternity. In the second video, we see that Sonic is first targeting someone else that he once knew. Through playing the game, Sonic is somehow able to bring victims into the game as certain characters. In this case, the victim has turned into Knuckles. Socroft Records is currently a 3-part series, and in the first video of this series we are presented with an educational VHS tape teaching us how to grow plants. For the first few minutes, the video seems to be relatively normal, besides for the off-putting background music. As we continue to watch the tape, the footage glitches out and we are met by some supplemental information, you could say. I was actually really surprised to find the smile tapes so low on this iceberg. I actually did a video on the smile tapes, and if you find this entry interesting, feel free to check the video out on the channel. I'm currently working on part 2 of the video as we speak. It should be out in about 2 to 3 weeks. The smile tapes are a web series created by Perugia. The series revolves around a fungus which releases spores that can infect various organisms such as dogs and humans. And upon being infected, the victim will go through various stages of mania as well as rapid aging. Winter of '83 is a collection of 15 total videos that revolve around a small town in Minnesota called Fawn. Video 1 informs us that the majority of people residing in Fawn, Minnesota have gone missing, and then proceeds as a normal news broadcast. But upon ending, the national anthem comes on while panning through various images of past presidents. However, occasionally we see out-of-place images such as a broken down car in snow, as well as something that looks like a head also covered in snow. The screen then cuts to black before a random individual wearing a lab coat comes onto the screen begging for help. The remaining segments are damaged and irreparable pieces of footage that have been recovered, and go over the details as to what happened to the ones that went missing in the winter of '83. The Employee Tapes Archive focuses on an establishment called Flagstaff Medical Center, where we learn that there has been an event that has contaminated the bottles of drinking water. The first video notifies us that there has been a recall on bottled water that has been issued. The water has unintended side effects on the human body if consumed. If one were to get their hands on a bottle of water, they are informed not to simply dump the water in a drain, toilet, or even outside in the grass, but instead they are told to pour the water into an airtight container and apply heat to the container, then just let it sit until all the liquid has evaporated. Then the individual may proceed to bury the container. In the second video, we learn that the illness associated with the water is called neuronosis, and the tape teaches us how to treat it. The Solar Tapes, as the name would probably suggest, is a series focused on space exploration. The series is a collection of 10 total educational video cassettes that document the journey of Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. On February 14th of 1990, Voyager 1's cameras began rotating towards the sun, and that's when some strange things began to happen. Somnium Dreamviewer focuses on a company called Somnium Microtechnologies. The Somnium company has seemingly created a device that is able to explore dreams. The device scans your brain as you sleep, then records and stores data from the visual cortex. In the second video, we learn that using this device causes some users to experience extreme fear and anxiety due to having nightmares. Station 33 is another broadcasting-based series. Station 33 advertises itself as a channel that caters to many age ranges, including children and adults. In the second video, we find out that the town has some rather odd myths and creatures that the station tries to sell as not being real. You may recall earlier that we mentioned a series called The Root Side Conspiracy, and how it was tied to the Heartwind Archives. Well, we finally have reached the Heartwind Archives, which I will be making a dedicated video on at some point in the future. We find ourselves in a universe where Earth is currently in danger from mutants, and the Heartwind City Labs narrator gives us some information on how to survive amidst the current conditions. Mutants are biologically enhanced human organisms that were developed by Heartwind City Labs that were originally intended to assist the government in various wars. Additionally, we learn that there are certain variants amongst these mutants that we need to be especially careful of. The Minerva Alliance series focuses on an activist organization that was founded with the goal of informing the citizens of America of the anomalies that exist in the country. The series opens up by notifying us that the US government has been working to cover up some information on the anomalies, which has ultimately caused many people to lose their lives. TV67 is an analog horror series that currently has 6 videos uploaded. One of which is a goodbye video from the creator saying that they will no longer be uploading new additions to the series, but about 6 months after that upload there has been a new video seemingly signaling the return of TV67. In the earliest video we are informed that there is a tornado underway and that we need to seek shelter. Not too long into the EAS announcement, we are updated saying that we can now leave our shelters and that it is safe outside, when in reality it is not. Quickly we realize that the station has now been hijacked by a third party that is actively seeking out ways to harm the people of Hundiak City. Uncovered Analog is another series that utilizes an EAS, and we are told to remain indoors and to cover windows and lock all entrances. Throughout the first video, we are teased with the coming of a strange oddity and that it is beckoned when the sun sets. The second video is a sort of advert from an electronics company called Nova Technologies. We are presented with items such as a replacement joystick and a monitor along with other things. But once we reach the computer, we see something that's a bit out of place. Displayed on the computer monitor, we can see some sort of figure carrying what looks to be a bag with the text, "Another day goes by, another is taken." The series currently consists of over 30 videos consisting of various commercials and EAS alerts that slowly reveal more information about this strange creature that exists in the Uncovered Analog universe. Assessment Examination is another game entry and seems to have also derived inspiration from the Mandela catalog. The game simulates an exam where we are interviewed to assess if we are adequate for a position within the association. Along with the questions, we are given some pictures of people, some that seem normal, while others are contorted. We are told to assess whether or not they can be trusted or if they are a threat. After the final assignment, the narrator says that we will be notified on whether or not we have obtained the position. But before he could finish the statement, the screen glitches out. I won't spoil any more of the game for you. If you are interested in learning more about this world, the link to the game can be found on the iceberg again, which will be linked in the description. Yet another entry that is tied into a game. Pizza Parlor Lost Tapes consists of various minigames and has a story that draws much inspiration from FNAF in terms of the restaurant lore and suspicious founders. The minigame that you can play has you collecting falling pizzas without letting them drop to the floor, and you get 3 lives before the game ends. Now, I didn't download the actual game, I only played the demo that was available on the actual link, so I'm not quite sure how much information is locked behind the actual download, but upon doing some digging, I was able to learn some more about this pizza parlor. The pizza parlor was originally opened on March 27th, 1995. The business only stayed open for about 2 years due to issues with finance and other rumors. But the founders promised that at some point they would reopen to a brand new generation. We then find out that one of the co-founders, John, is supposedly a murderer, having killed 3 children and stuffing them into the storage facility's walls. We are now entering the final layer of the Analog Horror Iceberg. If you made it this far, first of all, thank you very much, and if you enjoyed the video so far, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a like or even subscribe. Again, thank you so much for sticking around. Little Red's Transfer is an analog horror series created by Aquanta Films that derives some inspiration from FNAF. The series revolves around a company named Illusion Plus Entertainment and a group of people that are investigating some suspicious events surrounding Illusion Plus. The animatronics can be found roaming around a shopping mall, and the unique aspect about Little Reds is that instead of having the animatronics be haunted, it seems as though the tapes themselves are being taken over. The first video begins as an instructional video teaching us how to maintain the animatronics as well as other details about the mall. Throughout the instructional video, we cut to a conversation with Ivan, who is discovering some disturbing details while viewing the tapes. The Perugia Public Library series revolves around the Perugia Church, and in the first video we learned that there are these sort of creatures or angels that the series calls scouts. Sudden gusts of wind, heavy snow or rain, and dead birds are just a few warning signs of the arrival of a scout. Additionally, we know that these scouts are capable of causing hallucinations as well as feelings of fear or dread simply by being in the presence of others. As of right now, we have no way of warding off or defending ourselves against these scouts. What are you afraid of? What if I told you that I could eliminate that fear? Well, I can't actually, but Phobos may be able to assist you. The psychological home of bioorganic studies, aka Phobos, has supposedly developed a device or strategy to rid you of your fears. In no time at all, there will be nothing for you to be afraid of. Sounds good, right? The series attempts to sell its services of eliminating fear through various commercials, and the series is quite involved. In many of the videos and descriptions, we can find various ciphers and puzzles that hide secret information regarding Phobos. The Campbell Reels focuses on 3 people and their cartoon counterparts, you could say. Campbell's Fair Fun, which is a restaurant opened in 1965, is currently looking for new employees. The restaurant was founded by 3 Scottish immigrants, and we very quickly learned that one of them, Sydney Campbell, went missing about a year ago but has since returned. Oddly enough, Sydney isn't the only person to go missing from the Campbell's establishment, which causes a detective to begin investigating just what exactly is going on at Campbell's. Warding 12 Television is another series that is based around a broadcasting station. And as far as I know, there are only 2 videos that are part of the series, with the most recent being released in 2019. We begin with someone recording some video of some power lines and just overall enjoying the scenery. But once they spin around, we see this long-armed giant being, which causes the footage to glitch out. The second video begins as a weather broadcast, but soon turns into an advert from Heartwind Technologies for a radio that is selling itself as a sort of cure for poor moods and emotions. Since this series is so short, I won't spoil any more of it, and I will leave the rest of the lore to be explored by you. British Home Entertainment sells itself as a parody of Gemini Home Entertainment, which we briefly covered at the beginning of the iceberg. We begin with a survival guide in the case of a storm, and the instructions overall seem pretty normal. It's not until the second and third videos where things begin to feel a bit odd. In the artificial intelligence video, we are briefed with a demo of the AI, where we can see some eerie imagery suggesting manipulation and mind control. In the third video, where we learn about the various landmarks of London, we learn that supposedly the monarchy is corrupted. The video then gives us a cryptic message revolving around the London Eye Ferris wheel. And for the final entry on the iceberg, we have Untitled 2008. I couldn't find very much info on this entry, but it is yet another game. It's one of those that have the player fixed in one location, with the option of interacting with certain items in the scene. The first level gives you the option of either hiding under a blanket, which raises your temperature, or you can view the window. There are certain creatures you are able to hide from, but then there are others that upon viewing them, you are instantly eliminated. This game is also available on the iceberg, so if it does interest you, feel free to go and play it. So that marks the end of the Analog Horror Iceberg. Thank you so much for watching the entire video. It did take a very long time to make between the researching, script writing, and then the editing, so I would greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like. It really does help out a ton. If you liked what you saw, feel free to check out the other videos that are available on the channel. With that being said, I'll talk to you guys all again very soon.